What if the biggest mistake you've made with money is believing money is just math? We're taught how to earn it, how to budget it, how to invest it, but almost nobody teaches us how to think about it. And that's the real game. Because every financial decision you've ever made, it felt emotional first, logical second. That impulse buy, that risky investment, that hesitation to negotiate your salary. Those weren't spreadsheet decisions. They were identity decisions. This video isn't about tracking every dollar. It's not about day trading or chasing the next hot stock. It's about the psychology underneath your financial life. And today, I'm sharing 7 money lessons that completely changed how I earn, spend, save, and grow wealth. Not theories, real shifts that changed everything. If you stay to the end, the final lesson might be the one that actually moves you. Lesson 1. You inherited a money blueprint. Everyone has a money story. Some people grew up hearing, "We can't afford that." Others heard, "Money comes and goes." Some watched their parents fight about bills. Others saw silence, secrecy, or stress. Those early experiences don't disappear. They shape your behavior today. Maybe you overspend because money once felt scarce. Maybe you hoard it because instability once felt terrifying. Maybe you avoid investing because risk feels unsafe. When I started earning, I spent in ways that didn't make sense, not because I was irresponsible, but because I was trying to prove something to myself. Understanding your financial past isn't about blame, it's about awareness. Because until you recognize your blueprint, you'll keep repeating it. Lesson 2. Define the game you're playing. Comparison destroys financial clarity. One scroll online and suddenly everyone looks richer, faster, smarter. Someone flipped crypto, someone built a startup at 19, someone retired early. But here's the truth. They might be playing a completely different game than you. Are you building slow, stable wealth or chasing fast wins? Are you optimizing for freedom or recognition? If you don't define your financial objective, you'll keep reacting to trends. And trends are not strategies. Once you know your goal, house, business, early retirement, stability, you stop chasing noise. You start building direction. Lesson 3. Decide what enough means. There's a dangerous illusion in wealth building. If I just earn more, I'll finally feel secure. But without a defined finish line, the race never ends. More income becomes the default goal, more status, more upgrades, and you never pause to ask, what would actually be enough? Enough savings, enough freedom, enough flexibility. If you don't define enough, your ego will define it for you. And ego has no ceiling. Clarity creates peace. Lesson 4. Small consistency beats big wins. Most people want a financial breakthrough, a big investment, a viral business, a lucky break. But sustainable wealth rarely looks dramatic. It looks steady. Investing modestly every month, improving skills gradually, avoiding reckless decisions. Compounding isn't flashy, it's patient, and patience multiplies. Time rewards consistency more than intensity. You don't need one perfect move, you need repeated intelligent ones. Lesson 5. Beware the status illusion. Here's something uncomfortable. A lot of spending isn't about need, it's about signaling. Upgrades, luxury, visible success. But most of the time, people don't admire you, they admire the symbol. And symbols don't build security. I've spent money before not because I valued the item, but because I valued how it made me look. That's expensive validation. Real wealth is quiet. It doesn't compete, it doesn't perform, it protects. Lesson 6. Build for storms, not sunshine. Financial peace doesn't come from assuming everything will go smoothly. It comes from preparing for when it doesn't. Unexpected costs aren't rare, they're inevitable. Health issues, job shifts, economic downturns. The goal isn't paranoia, it's resilience. Emergency savings, reasonable expenses, avoiding overextension. Hope is not a strategy. Preparation is. Lesson 7. Systems over emotion. Money managed emotionally becomes unstable. Money managed through systems becomes sustainable. Automatic investing, predefined spending limits, clear saving rules. When systems are in place, you don't rely on motivation, you rely on structure. And structure removes decision fatigue. That's how wealth becomes predictable. Final lesson. Action creates clarity. None of this matters if it stays theoretical. You can consume endless financial content. You can understand every principle, but nothing changes without action. Pick one shift. Maybe it's defining your financial goal. Maybe it's starting a small monthly investment. Maybe it's cutting one unnecessary status expense. One move. Momentum builds from there. Wealth doesn't begin in your bank account. It begins in your thinking. Most people will watch this and move on. A few will pause and decide. Be the one who decides. If this changed the way you see money, comment one mindset shift you're committing to. And if you're serious about building freedom, not just financially, but mentally, subscribe and stay consistent. Because insight without action is entertainment. Action is transformation. I'll see you in the next one.